So, good morning and welcome to our third day of the Easter School. So the third presenter is Professor Saka, who has a kind of dual background from academia and then mostly from industry. So he has really a lot of industrial experience and experience on how to translate concepts from academia into industry and also to make money with it. So it's particularly interesting if you're interested in making money later on. And he will talk about...
Honestly, I was not able to make money myself, but my student. And this is the same. By just... Thank you very much, Michael. I am very pleased to be here. And I want to thank again Professor Michael Beard for inviting me to give this course, because I consider that this course is like my New Testament, because you will see in the lecture I shall speak about my Old Testament, but this will be, my course today will be about my New Testament. This is something that I hope could interest you, and I consider that it is very important, as you will see, because this will bring new ideas in your work, and I hope you have seen Professor Beer's messages. I was asking you to prepare few slides to present your own problem. Maybe you can have also a team to present together your problem, so that we could see on Friday or maybe this afternoon. We don't know how it will be arranged. How we can use all what I shall have presented to you today directly to your work. Okay? Because what I want is that this is something very practical, and also I am here to help you to understand what I have done, so that you can use that. And this means if during my presentation you notice anything that is not clear, please don't hesitate to interrupt me and to ask a question. Okay? Okay? Now, I can tell you, I am used to give classes and to teach, and nobody will be able to sleep or to do anything else. This course, first, of course, many people are afraid when we speak about complex system, but you will see in my presentation what I call a complex system. Okay? You will see what it is. And don't be afraid, it will be very simple. Now, this is what I shall follow. This morning, we shall do essentially the review of classical optimal design. And what I shall underline is, although there are many things available everywhere, okay? If you go to industry, almost nobody is using that. In many universities, you have a special class on optimal design. The students, when they leave, they go and work in the industry, and there is almost no industry that is using optimal design. Then there is something strange, and I should have to explain to you why. Why is it possible that we don't use these tools? After, I shall explain to you, I shall present to you another way about how to solve the same problem. And Professor Cruz yesterday showed you about his Bayesian networks. I shall show you another way to analyze the problem. And again, we are not very ambitious in this work. We have, for every problem, a very limited objective. And for this very limited objective, what we need is to provide always a sample and optimal solution. Okay? And you will see how it will work. Now, we shall see, I shall present you some examples, but for me the most important is that we look at your own cases what you are doing in your PhD thesis or your research activities, and we try to analyze your problem, and we try to think how, because you will see that in this approach, what is essential is you have sometimes huge data. This is big data. Everybody is speaking about big data. Myself, I don't like big data. Because what I want is to reduce this big data in very simple data so that I can have this synthesis and so that I can use that instantaneously, and you will see different cases of application. Okay? Now, I saw that in the program this was cancelled when there will be no test, no control. Huh? You cancel. Huh? You cancel. Okay. When I have something ready, but there will be no test. No test. Okay. Now, I want to make some advertisement. Huh? As Miguel told you, I have been during 40 years a professor. I say 40 years is too much. Then I say I stop. And now, since I receive a challenge of many of my friends who were working in the industry all the time, they were always telling me, oh, what you are doing has no use, okay, like that. Huh? Then I say, okay, I have to show that what I have done is really applicable and is really important and useful. Now, I have created different companies. A big one was CADLM, but I have left it to create another one because I wanted at that time to work essentially on medical problems and banking, because I was thinking at that time that all the money was rare. But unhappily, there was a crisis in the banking and all the projects were cancelled. And for this program, we have almost finished it, but the drug laboratories, because in France we have a big company who has faced a very important problem with one of his drugs, and for that reason, the laboratories now are afraid to start new activities. But you will see, however, I shall try to give you some ideas how to define a person, how to get, and I consider that this person is a complex object. And you will see that for this person, according to my problem, I shall have, for the same object, totally different description in each case, totally different description. And you will see what I mean. Now, in this seminar, I shall keep my old cap. This means I shall consider almost always only mechanical problems. Okay? And we shall see some really practical ones. Now, of course, what we want is not just to repeat always the same thing. Huh? Okay? The objective is, when you are in a design office, is to bring innovation, creation, okay? To introduce new concepts. But however, you don't want to lose all your past. Okay? You want to use to recover the knowledge. Okay? Then you have some concept coming, sometimes with some strange people, and I like this picture coming from this friend. Did you remind this guy? He is a very funny guy, okay? Very funny professor. And he's giving a course in innovation creation. And there are some concepts, you can see. Myself, I can sleep anywhere, but I cannot sleep standing up like that. It is why in Japan they have introduced this idea, but maybe I should try it if it is possible. But in Japan, they are able to sleep standing up in their subway, metro. They can in the train. You will see they are able. They are like that. They are sleeping. Myself, I'm not able, but this is why these people have found this kind of idea. It is very difficult always to put the drops in your eyes. Huh? You are always missing your tissue. Huh? Okay, but they have down. And this also very useful. Huh? We have to, when you want, particularly in China, you have always your noodles, instant noodles. Huh? Okay, when okay. This is. Now, of course, we need people like that. But what we want is, here in this class, is to show you how we shall try to use our past. Yesterday, Professor Kruse showed us a lot of statistics for Volkswagen, but for me, the main point is how to use all the design of cars, production of the cars that have been performed not only by Volkswagen but also by we have some French companies still, some French Peugeot or Citroën or Renault. Okay, how to use this, and so that to answer not only for optimal design and also the production in any part of the country, but also in different countries. Now, classical optimization. Then I shall start by making just a very simple review of what I was teaching. This means at the first level at the university, the very first level. This means optimization. When we speak about optimal design, this means we have to talk about optimization. And optimization, mathematically, we have to look at real function, and we have to define his extrema. First extrema that we have to consider is the free extrema. This means you have your function, which is a function of one variable or several variables. This function is defined in a given interval. You have to know, and can be continuous, derivable, okay? And it can be a function of several variables. Now, extrema libre is, by definition, you have to find a point for which, no matter the increment you are giving, the variation of your function will keep a constant sign. Okay, this is the definition of an extrema. Okay, and this variation, when it is free, you can take any kind of increment delta x, and necessarily, if the function is derivable, continuous and derivable, necessarily the point for which we have this free extrema is the point for which the derivative is equal to 0. The gradient is equal to 0. Now, a little more complicated is the Nick extrema. This means you have now your function that is defined in a certain domain, but, and this function of these different variables, this variable has to satisfy some constraints that are equality, some equality condition, some condition. Okay, this means like that. This condition. Okay, you have to find the extrema of your function, and this time the definition of the extrema is always the same, but you cannot take any kind of increment for your variable. This delta x has to be such that the point x0 plus delta x is in the compatible space. Okay, then it is not free. Not free, and there are many ways to solve the problem where you can, based on this
condition, make elimination, and find the independent variable, or you can introduce the Lagrange multipliers. I am going very fast because it is just a question. First, I want you to be used to my poor English pronunciation. I had to confess that I have studied English. I studied English for more than 18 years. It was a nightmare. But I think the fault is my English teacher. She was such an awful woman. I could not bear her. Okay? On the contrary, in Italian, I had a very pretty teacher, and I was very good in Italian. And after I married a Swedish girl, but English it did not happen to me. I did not find a nice English girl. Then I hope you are now a little more familiar to my pronunciation. Okay, then you introduce the Lagrange multiplier and you define your Lagrangian. Okay, your Lagrangian and your Lagrange multiplier. Okay. And with this new function, Lagrangian, then you have just to find the three extrema of this new function. Now, a little more complicated, much more complicated, is the constraint extrema. This means you have still your function, you have some equality condition, but you have also some inequality. And this is very complicated because you don't know the point where you are. You want to move where if this will be strictly inequality or equality that you will find. And this is much more difficult. And our mathematician colleagues, you cannot imagine how many papers were published. They want only to consider convex variable, convex function, convex problem. And you will see what is happening, what will happen for our real problem. And this is, everything is convex. And we have a generalized Lagrangian, the generalized Lagrange multiplier, and for convex problem, we have to satisfy the Kuhn-Tucker condition, and we find a solution. Okay? There are some special algorithms. Okay? Once again, when the problem is convex, your functions are continuous, and you have to define. Very often, the algorithm you will see are based on gradient. Then you can solve your problem. Okay. Now, when it is general convexity, you have to, we use some very much more complicated program. And as I told you, all the algorithms are based, most of the case, on this gradient. And ideas is like for general optimization, we have to go toward a special direction, very tight, where we have a, if it is a minimum, a decrease of a function, if it is a maximum, an increase of a function, we have to go and, okay. It is possible to solve this problem. And there are many mathematical algorithms and many theorems that have been. These are some. Now, this is what I keep telling to my colleagues in mathematics. My function. First, I don't have explicit expression of my function in my engineering problem. Very often you have some design variable, you will see. Based on this design variable, you will make some numerical analysis, structural analysis, and after you will compute your function, but it is not explicit, it is an implicit, and it is very complicated. I have no convexity. I am not able to compute analytically gradient. Then there are some special numerical tools to compute the gradient numerically, but this means I say to my friend, I cannot use your tools. Then no convexity, no explicit. Okay, then some people have defined new evolutionary algorithm, like a genetic algorithm, and they wanted to repeat what is available in the nature. Only the good people are able to survive, and then they have defined algorithms like that. This is not the purpose, then I don't want to stay too long on that. There is a special way first to code your variable, your design variables, how to code that, and after to represent this coding, usually based on chromosome and gene. Okay. Once again, this is not the purpose. I want just to tell you that these algorithms are available. These algorithms don't require the computation of a gradient. Okay, they are reconstituting exactly the evolution of people or of vegetal. Okay, they try to make something similar. They try to build, and the problem is okay, I don't speak about that. They require several iterations, 1,000, 10,000 iterations. Now, you are familiar, most of you, of structural analysis. You want to make a dynamical analysis, a crash analysis. You cannot imagine that you can rely, you can afford to make 1,000 computation to get your optimal solution. Okay? Then people, what they have introduced are something that is very interesting, is this notion of surrogate, surface representation, and what is called in artificial intelligences automatic learning. This means it is very similar. This means it is like general regression, but using special mathematical algorithm to build your solution. Okay? Then the objective is, this means you generate, after first you are obliged to make some of your numerical simulation. Based on this numerical simulation, you have to make a design of experiment. You generate your function. This means you have a special representation. This means for any value of your design parameter, you are able to compute your function and your gradient, and your, not the gradient, but your function and your condition, your constraint. And now that you have this surrogate or surface representation or this automatic learning, this is done very quickly, very fast, and you can afford to perform now your 1,000 or 10,000 iteration. The main thing is to make a design of experiment. Okay? And you will see that, like yesterday it was indicated, Professor Coase, when you have 50 design parameters, 500 design parameters, you cannot afford to make such a design of experiment. Okay? Then it is why that usually this kind of automatic learning is limited to a very small number of design of variable. Now, what I want again to show you is what is available. Okay, okay, in the company that I have created, we were selling a program, some numerical simulation programs, like NISA. And happily, although this program was considered like better than Abacus, you know, the technical aspect are not very important. Everything is a question of marketing. This program has, okay, but it is not, I am not here to make any advertisement. This program, just to give you an idea, this program was sold by the company at 800 customers in France. About only 10% has bought this option that was not very expensive, optimal design, and less than 1% of our customers were using this program. Okay, and you will see why. Now, this program, again, first, when you want to solve an optimal design problem, you have to say what are your design variables, what are your objectives, and after, what are your constraints. Okay, you have to give that. Okay? And you will see what it means for this particular program. Okay? Then mathematically, because this is what I have presented before on extrema, on function, okay? Here, minimize f. F could be the weight, could be the price of your structure, could be the life of your structure. Your design parameters could be you want to change maybe the thickness of some plates, maybe you want to change some position of your some nodes. Okay, there then you have to say, and this software offer some. Okay, and for this classical algorithm, this means if you go with ANSYS, you go with many other industrial programs, you will see that they are all building the gradient based on their definition. This means the gradient is, you have to make a small increment of your variable, any variable, you compute the increment, and the ratio, the limit of the ratio, when this increment delta x is very small, is your gradient. Okay? Then we compute that, and it is very long, and not very reliable. Your function may be like that. You have delta x, you are obliged to compute, then you compute the gradient like that, and of course, locally, you may have different expression of your gradient. Your function may be very complex, and this means what you compute numerically cannot be a very good representation. You have some limitation. But however, these programs are rare, and in NISA you have 3 options. Optimization of beam section, you will see very complex beam section. Structural, this is general optimization of structure, and shape is called also topologic optimization, where this means you have to take off material, you want to have very light structure, and you want just to keep the minimum material and satisfy your constraint. Now, this is first section optimization. It can be the beam, a general beam, but it can be a representation of a bus, a car, a craft, okay, and again, you will see particularly how you represent a section with multi-cellular section, and how what kind of design variable can be defined. Okay, this is an example of cross section. This is a sample. Okay, this is you can have here inside some other cross section. Okay, and this is what you allow to define as your design variable. Okay, this means the position of the length, the thickness. Here also the position. Okay, there are different ways, and you apply. And now, structural optimization. It is a more you have a general 3D structure. You have all your library of finite element, and you may decide that you want to have a lattice structure. You want to have also, this is a classical case, you want to control also the eigenfrequency of your structure, that means dynamical analysis. But most of the cases, the behavior that you keep in the structure is purely elastic structure, but the analysis can be also dynamic, static and dynamic analysis. And you can see you can change all that. This is the design variable associated. This means in 2D plane structure, you change the element thickness. Okay, but in structural optimization, what is important is that I don't know who is familiar with the finite element method, but you have in a finite element analysis, you have to define your nodes, you have to define your element, finite element, and this means you have to define your connectivity. And in structural optimization, your connectivity matrix does not change. Okay, you just change. You have to compute, of course, all the stiffness matrix, local stiffness, and also the stiffness matrix of the structure, but you don't change your connectivity. Okay? Even if the position of nodes can change, the index, you don't introduce more nodes than at the beginning. Okay, then this is, you can have different kind of output, but very often people are concerned by the sensitivity coefficient. Now, shape is something much more complicated. Now, there are, I think, 2 companies that are producing shape or topologic optimization, Altair and Samtec. And some friends at research institute, like Professor Schonauer, have introduced also some algorithm. But indeed, they are keeping their connectivity matrix the same, but they are changing the mass. It means they define for a finite element a mass that is changing between 0 and 1 continuously. And when the mass is 0, it means there is no material here. And when the mass is 1, you keep the material. Here, it was, in this program, it was very traditional. This means people were changing the connectivity matrix. And the time, this program is available, but the time on the computer is very, very long. And okay, this is how you start from this shape, and the system will keep that with some algorithm to regularize. Okay. Now, this is classical, and again, there are at ANSYS, Abacus, Samtec, many companies providing this kind of program. But nobody, as I told you, almost nobody in registries are using them. These options are not very expensive. Just to give you an idea, a program like NISA will cost for a university maybe $6,000. The option for optimization will be maybe $1,000 more. Okay, but people don't use. Because why? Because every time you change your constraint, you have to do again all the iteration. It is very complicated. Okay, people at that time they did not use surrogate. In this program, they don't use surrogate. Now, we have created ourselves a special environment in mechatronics. Mechatronics, it means where you have to use to make all kinds of analysis. This means mechatronic component. You must have now in many structure, many complex structure, like an airplane, like a car. People want to have some independent parts that they will carry, and the independent part will have their own electronic. This means you have not only a mechanical object, like a gear, but also arm electronic. Okay? And this means you have to make, and this mechanical, but you are in an environment, you have the cooling, then you have to look at static dynamical analysis, fluid analysis, you have electronic component analysis. You have to look also, because you have weld of your the structure, but also weld of your electronic component. You have to look at the fatigue life. You have to think that all your mechatronic object is in a car, is in an airplane. Then you have dynamical loading, and the problem is to find, however, for this object, the optimal design. Now, we have created such an environment based always on this special application of NISA environment. This is called FIP. This is an object that, for example, it is an electronic card. We have these three components that are to be the shape of the card can change, the position of this can change, and the card has some mechanical boundary condition, but also heat condition, because you have a fan inside your box. And as I told you, it is dynamically excited, and we are using this program FIP, which allows to make indeed all the analysis together. This means many people have been talking about how to make communication between analysis, but this has been indeed rare for more than 30 years. Okay, 30 years that has been rare. There is only one database of material, one database, and according to the analysis that you are performing, this means static, dynamic, fluid, thermic, the system will recover in the database what it needs. Okay, then it is, and you can see all the kind of analysis that you can do. Stationary heat analysis, transient heat analysis, thermomechanical stress, fluid flow, random for seismic excitation, transient dynamical analysis, frequency response analysis, eigenvalue, and also fatigue analysis. Now, we take the input of this. This means the user has to say what kind of analysis he wants to perform. Then he has to generate this ASCII file that is the input for the FIP program. And based on this program, the system will know in advance what can be the objective function, what can be the constraint function, and what can be the design variable automatically. And then we control, we recover, we say what are the design variables. There are only, based on your input data, the system knows what are the possible design variables. Okay? What are the possible objective functions? What are the possible constraint functions? Including, as I told you, fatigue. All kind of fatigue. This means you have the weld, different type of weld that are possible. And this is all. You select what kind of analysis you want to perform, your objective function, your constraint function, your variable, and automatically the system performs a design of experiment, but this design of experiment say, of course, stop. Like I told you previously, if you have too many design variables, the system will not be, it will be too long, because when we say design of experiment, this means the system will select some particular design variable, will make all the analysis, dynamical, static, thermal, etc., will store the result, and based on this result, we shall generate the surface representation, your surrogate, okay, but even if you use very sophisticated automatic learning algorithm, however, you need to make this means this design experiment is necessary, and then, as I told you, everything is automatic, and you don't. It will last maybe 2 days sometimes to create all that, and you recover your input, and indeed at the end, you have just that. You may recover the result, making all. These are your your 2 design parameters. These are your 2 one objective function, your constraint, and you just have at the end it is why, as I told you, we are not very ambitious when we want to work on optimal design of complex structure. We say we want to have the highest fatigue life for this kind of particular mechatronic element. Okay, then we create all that, and we reach this level, and now you can make any change on your design variable. You will see automatically, instantaneously, what are your objective function, what is the function, and your constraint function, the value, and you can make, of course, the optimal design. Okay. Now, again, maybe did you hear about Mode Frontier? Maybe I don't know who is familiar. Altair, Samtec. Okay, there are some companies that are offering this kind. But as I told you, if you have more than 10 design parameters, you cannot afford to make a design of experiment. Okay. 10 design parameters. But we want to go much further. We want to go further. It means how is it possible that after so many years, I don't know, ASME, has a special division on optimal design. This division has been here for more than 30 years, but again, almost nobody is using optimization in the industry. Now, just to make a review. Our problem, why it is so complicated. We don't have explicit function. We have numerical function. We don't have gradient. We don't have convexity. We have some tools, like a genetic algorithm, but they require too many iterations, then we have to rely on automatic learning. But this is limited by the number of variables. What to do? Okay? And there are some other points that I want to. Okay? Now, what about when you have a real complex system? A complex system is for me something where you cannot know in advance your design variable. Okay? What you have been asked is just to say, for example, I want just to join this part with this one. We don't know if it is with bolt, with weld, with glue. If it is with bolt, we don't know how many bolts, we don't know where to put. This is what I consider a complex system. This means the variables, design variables, are not defined. You don't know them in advance. You don't know. And they will change according to your problem. For example, I took this Volkswagen because Professor Cruz is here. You have the old B and the new B. Okay? How can we characterize the changes in these two cars? How did they reach this new design? did they reach the new design? There are many other problems, of course, but we don't know. We want just to say that we want to reduce the noise inside the car. We want to have a safer car. We want to have a car that is lighter so that we shall use less gas. But we don't know what to do. Okay, this is. And for example, the problem of noise. If we look at more about noises. For example, you want to reduce, you have a very simple problem. You have a plate that is vibrating, and because of this vibration, this plate will emit noise. Now, you may decide, in order to reduce the noise, to put some masses, to put some stiffeners, to put some dampers, but you don't know in advance what to do. Okay? This is, again, a complex system. Okay? Do you follow? Okay? This is a complex system. What to do? Now, let us assume we decide we shall put masses. How many? Where to put them? How many? Where to put them? And we shall see how to solve that. Another problem that is important is you want to have to install in an airplane antenna. How many antenna? Because the airplane needs to communicate with the land. Okay, several other. Then where to put the antenna? How many? What type? What direction? And again, this is something that is complex. Now, in material science, many people has thought that we could go from atom, from molecule, from single crystal to polycrystal. Okay. This is true. This is true. Indeed, I have spent more than 30 years in this subject. 30 years. And now, for example, the problem of osteoporosis, you have to characterize the bone mechanically. And you have to think about, at a nanoscale, about collagen, what is the type of collagen that is in the special bone, what is the type of crystal that you have inside, so that you reach your bone, how we will generate. And you have this nano to macro, but even this is a very complex, it took me almost 30 years to solve that, but this is not enough, because what it is needed is to have also to solve the inverse problem. It means we have some ideas of the actual value bone properties, want to know what is happening at the nanoscale. So that after we could try, based on some chemical treatment, like drugs, something like that, how we can change the local properties, so that when we come back to the global scale, we could have a good bone. Okay? And this is some references on this modeling. As I told you, I spent more than 40 years on that. This book is my Old Testament. Okay, I have a special representation of nano to macro behavior. Okay, based on for metals. This is why at that time I was visiting Germany and England. Indeed, my first visit in England was in 1964. I visited Oxford and Cambridge, and I felt very ashamed because my poor colleagues, PhD students, were earning 40 pounds a month. The Bobby was earning 90 pounds a month, and as a researcher in France, I was earning 180 pounds a month. Okay, I mean, I was much richer than they were, but they were working so well. I felt very ashamed at that time. Now, in any case, I used some of their concepts, okay, and I have created this, and after I have built something. where at that time I was very, very proud because I was able to reduce for a numerical simulation of inelastic structure the time of the computer by a factor 10 to 1000. So for some special problem like shot pinning, the ratio was almost infinite, okay, because I could get almost analytical solution. Then I was very proud, and at that time I say I have this is my testament, but I was obliged to say now it is my Old Testament, and now I have a New Testament. Now, why I have been so disappointed? Because you will see this particular benchmark that has been performed by our best expert in France using our best available numerical simulation. And this is this very simple problem. For example, I have created this company, Radios, this company Mecalog, that has been bought by Altair, but we have created this program, numerical simulation. We are able to make any kind of crash, explosion. We were, again, very proud. But when I came to this special benchmark, this is a very simple beam that is clamped here, purely linear isotropic elastic material, loaded by an uniform pressure on this side. Of course, we are very far away from our car. We are very far. We are very far away from the crash where we have contact, elastoplasticity, you have rupture, purely elastic small transformation. Okay? Our best people in France were asked to give what is the maximum displacement rare and what is the maximum constraint rare. Very simple. Okay? And this is the result. They were free to do all kinds of these people during making beam modeling. This one has produced 1.42 centimeters of maximum displacement. This one has produced 22 centimeters. This one has found for the maximum constraint 331 megapascal. This one was 1,200. They were free to do plate 3D modeling. For plate, the displacement was maybe more regular. But if you look at the maximum stress, 320, 1,400, the same. Then this means this is where you need to be very how can I say? You have to reduce all your ambition. You say, how? I was thinking I was able to make all the crash explosion, and for this special problem, I'm not able to answer. And nobody knows what is the real solution. Because this problem was purely experimental. First, how to be sure that you have a perfectly clamped structure. How to apply an uniform pressure. This is difficult to impose. And how to measure the maximum stress behind the weld. It is also very complicated. This means, after that, I say that my friends are right. Everything I have done has no use. If I am not able, always in my analysis, I need to perform at least elastic simulation. If I cannot control my elastic simulation, where am I going? This means, and we come back to what was presented yesterday, we have made a lot of progresses. In modeling, I told you, many books. I have produced many books. In fatigue, many people have introduced the damage factor. And I say, for me, damage factor is exactly like the problem of God. It means people are talking about that, but nobody, except some people who are claiming that, nobody has seen God. And we have churches, and people are following groups, and this is like that, and we don't know, indeed, anything. For fatigue, we don't know anything. Numerical simulation, now the loading on a structure is not very well defined. Of course, the real structure itself also has some uncertainties. You have some tolerance during the forming and during the welding and during the tooling. Okay. Now, this means that, as was indicated yesterday, I am totally in the fuzziness. This was my conclusion. I don't know. After that, okay, as I told you, many things are available, but I don't know where to go. How to do something. I say how to give a sense, a meaning to my life. 30 years, 40 years without having something clear that I can give. Okay? Then I say I need to find something else. Okay? And this is okay. This is we know that we don't know, but we have no choice. The production life has to go on. We cannot say to the people, we don't know, but they will not keep us. And now, although we don't know, okay, what we want is for any new problem to give a simple and practical solution. And you will see how we could manage that and how we could reach a special way to recover knowledge so that this knowledge can be passed to new people. Okay, this is the objective of my course here. I consider I am old man, past. My life is over for me, and I hope that you will use some of my concepts in your work, and this will be how life will go on for me. Okay? I know that I don't know. This is how we have to think. We don't know, but however, we have to do something, and very practical, and to reach at any time an optimal solution. And you will see after, we shall build for each problem a special environment. Any new person that will come to the company will be able to give the optimal solution, having the same power than the best expert in the company, but in the same time, we shall have to train the new user, to explain to them why they have to keep this solution. And so that we can train the new user to become expert themselves and